Order accepted.
As we spawn up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, representing Psystorm Gaming, it is the pink Protoss player, normally a Terran player, by the way, Intense.
And we have on Team Kappa, bottom right-hand corner of our screen, we have Arium. Playing Zerg.
Indeed. And Arium, normally a Protoss player. So both of these guys off racing, but I have actually talked with them, and they said that they were actually considering switching in Legacy of the Void.
Well, the thing is, like, and you look at like Brood War players who switch race into Wings of Liberty, or like Wings of Liberty players who switch race into Heart of the Swarm. This is a completely different game. This is more akin to Brood War to, I mean, don't like, you know, chastise me or anything, but more a little bit like Brood War into Wings of Liberty, because it's a really big change in the economy and the way that everything works, and you have to start all your builds from scratch. Whereas like Heart of the Swarm, Wings of Liberty transition is like, well, it's pretty much the same game, but you got a couple new units and a little bit different. It felt more like an expansion. This is more like StarCraft 3.
Yeah, this really does feel like almost an entirely new game in that sense. As you were saying, it's not just like the changes that they made into like small little units and everything, or like the new units that are added in. As you were saying, it's like the fundamental change in the way that you have to play the game as well as even think about the game. But I'm kind of interested to see how this is going to go. Right now, as expected in this Protoss versus Zerg, we're going to be seeing relatively early expansions, but what's kind of interesting is, and this is something I've been thinking about, is how a Protoss player is going to defend against any kind of early aggression from a Zerg player with how fast everything kind of comes up. If you go for like this early Nexus over here, can you just get away with going for a regular gateway expansion behind it?
That's not something that I've tested specifically, but what I do know is that if the earliest possible time that a Zerg can get units in a Protoss base is around 255. So you look right now, it was just about 255 a little while ago, and that would be absolute sacrifice economy, go right for the 12 pool.
The 12
and
pool.
he's, a 12 pool, which is, you know, you'd have to take your workers down and do a little bit of micro, but it would be pretty much fine. You just start cranking out the Zealots, get the Mothership core up, you know, and it's going to be fine. I think that as this sort of game develops with the 12 workers, that cheese is going to move more towards tech-related stuff and gas-related stuff, rather than like the same old like, oh, okay, so I'm going to proxy 2 gate. It doesn't make sense anymore. There probably aren't going to be any proxy 2 gates anymore. You know, it'll be just different type stuff. But yeah, so I think that it is generally pretty safe to take a super fast expansion. And then go right into units after that. But again, this is a completely new game. A lot of the timings are still being mapped out, and I haven't got a chance to do those particular timings just yet. So I'm very excited to start.
Don't worry, JaKaTaK. I don't blame you for not having completely discovered all the possibilities and timings that exist in this alpha mod that's been out for a week or two. I don't fault you that much. I fault you just a little bit. I appreciate it.
You know, I know a lot of people expect me to have that, so I'm really trying to live up to that expectation. But I'm just not quite there yet. It might take me another day, and then I should be set. You know,
yeah, exactly. Just one more day. That's all he needs, guys.
Yeah. Just give me a day.
All right. Well, I am kind of interested because I know that I have been talking with Arium as well as Intense, and from what I understand, they said that they had a ridiculously good build and involved Ravagers, which makes sense because we already have a very fast tech up to Lair from Arium, basically playing Zerg kind of like you would play Protoss on 2 base. Zing. Because Arium gets shit for doing 2 base all-ins a lot sometimes. But he's still actually a pretty good player, and I've seen him play more than one fairly good macro game. But regardless, Ravagers coming out on 2 base.
Whoa, he's not paying attention.
Oh my god! Arium might supply block himself!
Oh, I think it's the old one. I think it's the old damage. Yeah, this is when the Ravagers did 40 damage plus 40 to armored, and the Mothership core is indeed an armored unit. Leads it.
That's pretty good.
Leads it. Come on! Take it out, and it's not actually going to happen.
Yeah, apparently he only needs...
pretty hard to land.
Only using 2 Ravagers for this push out. Okay, he's gonna morph in a couple more. And
oh my god,
that Mothership core!
Oh, you got it! Yeah,
finally goes down. That's actually a big problem though, right? Because there's not going to be a photon overcharge now.
Yeah, he's got an immortal, and he's got that new immortal ability, Barrier, which will help block some damage. Still deals a lot of damage. The Ravagers are armored units, so you still get that bonus damage. You can do some kind of micro action, but it's really difficult to deal with this. Second immortal is going to be coming out. Wow, he's backing off. I'm really surprised he backed off there. I feel like he could very easily taken out that pylon and stop that unit from coming out, but not going to happen. A little bit too on the late side. That's the other thing too. Ravagers are really, really good at taking down buildings because, again, buildings don't move. If it doesn't move, the Ravager is going to be ridiculously strong against it.
Yeah, exactly. And the Ravagers are continuing to just pick away at that wall. Oh god, actually, depowers the robotic facility. That's going to be quite problematic. If he takes out this pylon, he's going to power down the cannon and the forge. Oh man. 141 of 160. Very close to actually finishing up. Oh my god. Forge does go down, and there's so many sentries have lost their lives. These Ravagers absolutely wrecking through a lot of this. Now, I do have to ask you, like, what do you think about the Ravager interaction between that and the Immortal Shields that now exist? Those extra 200 hit points.
Well, 200 hit points is a lot. The Ravager shot only does 60 damage. Right now it's going to do 80, but, you know, that's it. So it'll be very useful to hold it, but the shield's only for 4 seconds, and the cooldown for the Ravager is really fast. Oh, he's going to run with these. Oh, he's going to lose a ridiculous amount of probes. He's building a lot of Immortals, and that's pretty solid. He's going to be marching across the map with them. I think he's managed to push this back, but he's taken a ridiculous amount of losses in the meantime. And if you look at the main of Intense, he's already running out of minerals, and this is a very, very dire situation for him already.
Yeah, you end up mining out of your main base a lot faster, but I also want to note that something very important about these Immortals is the fact that you have to activate the barrier now. It's not just this kind of automated, oh, everything that you do while it has shields only does 10 damage. No, you have to automate it. So if you don't realize that those big Ravager shots are going off and you don't activate those shields, your Immortals can disappear almost instantaneously.
Absolutely. And that's really the main thing that I'm so excited about Legacy of the Void, is that it's about, like, attention. It's about paying attention to things, you know? If you are good at paying attention to a lot of things at the same time, you're going to get rewarded by all of these things. A lot of active abilities, a lot of fun things to mess around with, and a lot of reward for, you know, utilizing micro, which is one of the more fun aspects of the game. I mean, I like queuing up my Marines as much as the next guy, but I really, really like micro, and it's super fun. And rewarding that is going to, I think, make games more fun for the spectators, and it's going to make games more fun to play.
Definitely, and we already see some kind of fun stuff going down right now. The Ravagers doing a lot of shots off, and it's actually so cool. I love what Intense is doing. He's just finding out where the Corrosive Bile is going to be going down and moves back just small little bits of his army until the Corrosive Bile is gone, but lets the remainder of it attack. And while these Ravagers are still in relatively low numbers, I mean, it's like 7 or 8, not actually that many, he can actually continue to do that kind of micro, and it's working out pretty well.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the things that I've found ends up working really well against the Ravagers is, like, the instant, the thing that you want to do is actually move forward and not move backwards in a lot of the situations. Whenever you can sort of overtake, and this is sort of the big armies, so just backing off and playing it safe and things like that. But when it's just a pure Ravager, they're really, really vulnerable if you can get right up close to them. That's why things like Zerglings and the Herc do really well against the Ravager in a lot of the situations that we're seeing.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we do actually have some Stargates coming up, and that's actually another really good example of what I think you're talking about, where I've seen a lot of air units that just decide to get on top of the Ravagers, and it's like, what are you going to do? Throw down Corrosive Bile on top of your own Ravagers? Like, you're just going to damage your own Ravagers. So it can be a little bit problematic. Oh, drones transferring in the middle of the engagement. Oh, actually, oh no, Arium hasn't knocked down those rocks yet. That's actually a little bit problematic.
Yeah, mildly problematic. Should be able to settle it with the massive burst damage of the Ravagers, but he's pushing them away. And we're sort of doing this sort of zoning, positioning dance, which is very cool, very fun to watch. Yeah. And in the meantime, Intense has bought himself enough time to get these couple of bases up, and he's got his economy back and running again. He's really far behind on supply, and this push is going to be very difficult to deal with. But if he deals with it, if he can hold out for a little bit longer, he should be able to get himself back into this game.
Ooh, I love what Intense is doing, because you think about how the Ravagers work, they force your units back a lot of the time. You lose ground. So what he does is he's actually engaging this kind of like you would engage siege tanks. You engage them out in the center of the map, and every single time there's a quote-unquote siege up, in the sense that he throws down a lot of corrosive vials, he has the room to move back. If you try and defend this at your actual base, you don't have any room to maneuver. So this is actually a really smart move by Intense, and I really like this adaptation for how he's dealing with this.
Yeah, absolutely, but Arium just sort of moving right in now. Oh, what are you gonna do? It's a force field. What are you gonna just remember? The Ravager kills the force field. Yeah, it's dead. Force fields.
You still have to be careful about those though, because they still do.
He's doing really good at dodging this stuff.
Yeah.
Say that and he takes a bunch of hits.
But one thing that's kind of interesting about the breaking force fields is that I've noticed it's great for if you want to break up a ramp or something, you can break down the force fields over there. If you want to escape, you can do that. But if your entire army is kind of segregated by the force field, actually you have to be very careful about your corrosive bile, because you could actually end up just doing a ton of damage to your own army with those corrosive biles, because that's where your army's forcibly in between there. You're basically throwing down the corrosive bile on top of your army.
Absolutely. Look at Intense. He's taking another base over here. He's just using these stalkers to keep things zoned out, keep the battles going on in the middle of the map with nobody losing anything, no bases getting taken out or anything like that. Blinking when he has to.
Yeah.
And he's just buying time. He's just hanging out and buying time. And he's even got some Dark Templars coming in, which should be quite nice.
Oh man, Arium's gonna be a little bit salty about that one if he ends up taking a lot of damage. Those are very much the tried and true unit of Arium. I would say if he had a spirit unit, it would be the Dark Templar, but Blinkstalker's doing a good job just continuing to buy time, but there is an Overseer with Arium's army now.
Alright, so what do we got for detection? Not a lot. We don't have Spore Crawlers, I don't think, in any of the bases at all. So if he can sneak by and get his Overseers, no, actually he's just going to start killing stuff.
Fungal Growth still does reveal Dark Templars in cloaked units. If you realize what's going on, you can throw that down and start to clean that up.
Yeah, he's got his whole army going there. And this is, this is how you want to deal with something. If you have 2 Dark Templar in your base, send everything. Kill them immediately, because that's how you gotta kill them. They have at least 1,005 hit points, and you gotta absolutely get giant battle going on. Nice fungals, he's landing them. And, alright, time's up. Okay, we talked a lot about Intense buying time and getting bases up and all that good stuff, but the time has come. Arium is pushing across the map. And how is it? Use Phoenix? Or Phoenix?
Yeah, he has a couple of Phoenix. Getting a +1 air weapons as well. I guess actually he can use that if he doesn't get fungled, and that doesn't happen. Oh my god, that combination is so strong, JaKaTaK!
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, that was a little bit overkill for one Phoenix. Oh my god, that was funny. Every single Ravager shot missed that poor little Phoenix that was even fungled. And now when he's not fungled, he's going to take more damage.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay, well.
I mean, there's not a lot
these Phoenix are just hanging out above.
There's not a lot of reliable anti-air, right? Look, he has to almost attack his own army with the Ravagers to try and take these Phoenix out, or he has to lay down a ton of fungal growths.
And good thing fungal growth doesn't friendly fire, otherwise he'd be screwed. He'd be fumbling all his own stuff.
Oh, that needs to be a mod. That needs to be a mod. Everything friendly fire.
Friendly fires. Yes, absolutely.
Dark Templars swipe and they start dealing damage in a giant cone in front of them. Oh, that should be a mod. That really does need to be a mod.
Friendly fires. All modders out there, listen. This has to be
Marines fire and they actually just hit the first thing in the line of sight of their attack.
Yep.
Oh.
Absolutely. Actually, we were messing around with that on the race project for a while, which was really fun.
Oh, really? Oh my god, that would be so difficult because you have everything balled up. But hold that thought, Blinkstalker's gonna have to blink up in the main base, or in the natural expansion. But this is gonna be a difficult place to break in. But it looks like Arium feeling good about it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're going against just Stalkers, I mean, Stalkers are good, but they're not that good. He's just gonna come in and he's gonna wreck everything. I don't see this game going for much longer, and yet I have the timeline, so what is going to happen
hey,
in
man.
this game? The DTs are coming in, they're doing their thing. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Of
course. Yeah. The DTs over at the 4th expansion actually almost able to kill off a hatchery. They're over at the 3rd expansion, killing off drones and queens, etc. Might actually be able to make
might have a little bit of
a
a base race going on here, at least giving it a shot. That is a really big, really scary army, though.
Yeah, Intense really needs just more gas right now, because that's the thing holding him back. I feel like, he can start getting on things like Void Rays, and maybe even a carrier or two, because he does have the Fleet Beacon. But it's still this kind of very difficult situation where he just doesn't have gas. He has tons of minerals, though. Maybe even just warping in Zealots would be a good idea.
Yeah, tons of minerals is an understatement. He's got 4,000 minerals in the bank. He can make zealots and cannons as much as he likes.
Yeah, part of the problem being that he's not mining off. Could put one additional guy on that third expansion. Does not mining at all off of that fourth expansion's gas geysers. Really just needs to do something with that. Void Rays taking some damage as they pop out and gonna have a hard time. One Void Ray versus the world.
One Void Ray. All right, bring it on. One Void Ray. Where's the detection? Oh, there's none. Oh, there's.
Okay, it's the infestors.
The...
Oh, don't corrosive acid your own Zerglings.
Oh man. Yeah, that's what he's doing. All right,
oh well, okay. Actually, okay. Well,
Still
here's the
one
thing.
DT in there, and he's run out of fungals.
You could use the corrosive bites or bile on the DTs, but you're probably also going to attack your own units, right?
Right. Yeah, that's one of the cool things.
That's a
too.
trade-off.
Attack area type thing, so it makes dealing with Cloak a little bit easier. In some situations, like Widow Mines, where they don't move, but in this situation, it's going to be. There's the Overseer. There's the Overseer.
All right. Arium's march continues.
Yeah, man. The thing is, we're into a basic math area, and I don't know about you, but I'm pretty awesome at basic math. 2 and 2 is 5. 3 and 3 is 7, like you know. So we've got 40 to 30, 130 supply right now, and obviously, I think based on logic, Intense is going to take this away, no problem. You know?
Yeah, but you know what? You can never use logic when you have Dark Templars in the mix, because those Dark Templars have just taken out the Hive. That means that there's actually no possibility for Overseers anymore. So there's only one Overseer out on the map. Sorry, there's 3 Overseers out on the map, but only one with the army. So if he takes that out, this could actually start causing problems, right?
All right, running away with his workers. He does have a
not very successfully, might I add.
All right. Okay. A little bit of distraction over here. The DTs are taking everything out. No, he's running directly into the enemy and then leading them to his only remaining structure. Oh no! And Arium, with the Imba Ravager, shows us once again why Zerg Imba